The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So good evening again and welcome. We're delighted to have everybody here, even if you're not showing up for the budget meeting, although our finance director thinks that's exactly why you're here this evening. So without further ado, let me get into the formality of our final public hearing on the coming year's budget and millage rate. So once again, good evening to everyone. This hearing is being conducted to consider the proposed operating millage rate and the tentative budget for the coming fiscal year. As required by law, I will make the following announcements. The proposed operating millage rate necessary to fund the budget is 6.15%.
Hey, Mayor, I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but can we just have the clerk announce on the record that you guys are all here so that...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I went rushing forward trying to get through the front end. So, yes, Madam Clerk, would you show that all members of the council are here?
I will. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll just get back to the announcement of the operating millage rate, which is 6.15% above the rollback rate of 1.8087 mils. That proposed operating millage rate is 1.9200 mils. Another purpose for this evening is, of course, to consider the proposed FY25-26 budget. As a reminder, this is the second and final public hearing on this budget. One of the questions I will ask before I announce the budget is, has there been any change made to the budget since the first public hearing that we had on the budget?
No, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, staff will provide a summary of the proposed budget for this coming fiscal year. So I'll turn it over to our finance director.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you have the fiscal year 2025-2026 proposed budget. The total budget is $60.4 million. Of that, the general fund is $32.3 million. The stormwater utility is $1.4 million, and the capital budget is $26.7 million. As I stated before, there has been no changes since the first public hearing, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. So I will open it up for public comment on both the millage rate and the budget, while we're having technical issues, I suspect. So do we have any comment cards? Madam Clerk?
No, Mayor, no comment cards.
Do we have any hands raised? Mr. Manager?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Then we'll move to council action unless there's someone in the audience who wishes to comment on the Village of Royal Palm Beach budget for fiscal year 2025-2026. Not seeing anyone wishing to comment, then we will close the public portion, close the floor to public comment, and then we'll move to council action, the adoption of the millage rate. The motion before the council is that the proposed operating millage rate for FY 2025-2026 be set at 1.9200 mils. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Before we proceed, I think we need to read the title of the resolution.
Well, I'll read the title of the resolution so that
you are adopting the resolution which sets that millage rate. This will be Resolution 2525, resolution of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting the final millage rate for the Village of Royal Palm Beach for fiscal year commencing October 1, 2025, ending September 30, 2026, providing effective date.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That motion passes unanimously. The millage rate is adopted. The next council action is the adoption of the budget for FY 2025-2026. The motion before the council is as follows. The Village of Royal Palm Beach adopts fiscal year 2025-2026 budget as presented.
Mayor, this would be Resolution 2526, resolution of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting final budget for fiscal year 2025-2026, providing that the budget hereby adopted may be adjusted or modified by subsequent resolution of the Village Council under certain circumstances, providing conflicts clause, severability, and effective date.
I will then put that adoption to, I look for a motion, I should say.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We have adopted the budget. Thank you very much, Madam Finance Director. Good job, as we've said a few times. Now I will close the public hearing by virtue of a motion to do so.
Move to close the public hearing on budget.
A second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This meeting is officially closed. Thank you all very much. We appreciate that. And so we will move on to the regular agenda for this evening. It is still September the 18th, 2025. It is now about 6:38, and I will call to order the regular agenda for the Village of Royal Palm Beach in the council chambers in the Village of Royal Palm Beach for this evening. Again, Madam Clerk, let the record show nobody left.
Yes, Mayor, I will. Thank you.
And we still have all members of the council, and we've already done the Pledge of Allegiance, so we won't repeat that. Before we go any further, I wish to have a brief discussion with the council here about modifying the agenda. Now, I have the authority to, as I understand it, modify that agenda. I would like to do it in a collaborative fashion and get a consensus that what I'm about to propose would be something worthwhile doing. And it has to do with the length of the agenda that we have in front of us this evening. As I look out in the audience, I think this is probably a very good call. I know we have at least 8 cards that have been submitted for public comment who wish to speak. And then I look at the fact that we have 26 items on the agenda. 15 of them are consent agenda, and the other 11 are on the regular agenda. I suspect we're going to have substantial conversation on a few of these items, but what concerns me most is that the last item, which is regular agenda item number 11, is a presentation of, it's more or less a progress report on the strategic planning activities that we've had underway for about half a year. Now, we've never done this before, and I think it's a very worthwhile thing to do to allow us to be able to have further discussion as more information was generated in taking on some of these initiatives and these actions in our strategic plan, discovering information which is normally shared with us one-on-one, but due to Sunshine, the only way that we can discuss any of that information and any ideas we might have is at a formal public meeting. And so what I'm suggesting is that we remove item number 11 from the regular agenda, and we move it to a special meeting, a workshop, to focus exclusively on the matters that are contained in that report. Just to add to my concern about the length, it's a 79-page item. Now, obviously, we wouldn't go through that. I'm sure our manager would not walk us through each and every page, but there's a lot of information there. So with that thought in mind, I throw it open to the council to see how they feel about setting up a workshop to focus on The last item, the progress report on our strategic plan. Any comments?
I wouldn't have any problem, Mr. Mayor, moving it to another time. I don't have a problem with it staying on either, but I understand your points, and I know you're not a big football fan, so this isn't because the Dolphins are playing in not too long, so.
Sure, it has nothing to do with that.
I know you well enough that it doesn't.
And for the record, I am a big football fan. Just because I don't talk it doesn't mean I don't love it. Any other comments about that proposal to do a workshop? I would like to start with that, and then we could talk about just deferring it to delaying it or postponing it to another time.
I would agree to moving it to another time so we can give it the focus it needs.
Okay?
May I suggest, if we are going to move it, that we move it to another council meeting and not a separate workshop?
I have no problem with that either.
Okay.
council meeting, that would be great.
If that works out for the majority, I think
Yep.
that's a good idea.
Most of us work.
And was to find out what would work for the majority. I think we can do that. The one concern I have is we don't know what's going to be on that agenda. Were you going to offer anything? Okay, great. All right, then I would like to modify the agenda to postpone agenda item number 11 until a time certain, which at this point would be the next council meeting.
So the motion would be to modify tonight's agenda by removing agenda item 11 under the regular agenda and resetting it on your October regular council meeting.
Can I have that motion?
I'll make a motion to remove regular agenda item 11 and have it placed on the October regular meeting agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think that'll work out better than just taking it on. So let us then move on with the next order of business, and that would be reports, I believe, right? And so let's begin with Councilwoman Sharps this evening. I didn't mean to stun you.
Council, and of course, our audience, our residents. I've had a busy, since last meeting month, going to I Think's ribbon cutting and going to, oh Lord, there's a new business, well, there's quite a few new businesses. It's a new business over by Payway that has seafood in a bucket, and they give you the bucket. That's exciting for me. Okay, it's the little things that matter. And anything dealing with food, I'm happy. And then, of course, answering constituents' questions. But also, I've been asked to be on the Royal Palm Beach High School SAC committee, which I'm really excited about being on that committee. My mentee goes to school there. Other than that, just working for the people and learning is just great. I'm really enjoying it and running around like a chicken with my head cut off. I like it. So it's been a great month.
Great. Thank you very much. Vice Mayor.
Yes, I, this Tuesday, attended the SAC meeting at the high school because my only daughter is still a student there. She's a senior this year. They were very appreciative, Mr. Mayor, and I believe Councilwoman Sharp showed up. They were extremely happy with the presentation that we had going over there. They're excited about the village's civics project and the history club that was brought before them as well. Interesting thing, for the first time ever, football team is doing really well. Apparently, they've got a record going. They've won, I think it's five games in a row, and they haven't given up a point. And the interesting thing is, I think early tomorrow morning, they are heading up to Camden County, Georgia, to play an undefeated team up there who apparently scores 50 points a game. So something's definitely going to have to give, but we wish them luck, and I'm really happy to see how well the football team is performing, and I one of the things that has happened, well, one of the dates that's passed since our last regular meeting was the anniversary of 9/11. And I wanted to ask the mayor and the council if it would be appropriate to stand and have a moment of silence in remembrance of all the victims that passed
Okay.
that day.
Well, absolutely.
Mayor?
Yes, please, let's do that. Would you all join us in a moment of silence for 9/11 and the lives that were lost on that day? Thank you all.
And not to be a complete downer, but we've also had some other unfortunate things that have happened in our country since our last meeting. Charlie Kirk was murdered out in Utah, and it's, at this point, I don't know what they know. They think it's politically motivated, but this isn't the first instance of politically motivated violence. The one that I remember is there was a federal judge in New Jersey. Some guy showed up at her house and ended up killing her son. There was a legislator killed, I believe, in Minnesota, along with her husband, and now Mr. Kirk. And I'd just like to say this is something we as Americans need to do a lot better. And watching the media coverage on it, I was really touched by what Governor Cox said, and one of his things, and I wanted to just share the quote. That is, the question, he said this is a watershed moment in U.S. history. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? I definitely like to believe it's the former, and I would like to express to everybody, when I was a kid growing up in the 70s, there was always a saying that we dealt with, which is, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And it doesn't seem like that's being carried forth. The gist of it is, say whatever you want to say, but keep your hands off. Don't touch someone else. Don't invade anyone else's personal space. And I'd just like to try to get that message out that, yeah, maybe we weren't as sophisticated in the 70s and didn't realize how much, words can hurt. There's emotional damage and all these other things too. But it's a whole different ballgame when you start getting into touching people and hurting people. And I would like to think as Americans, this is the end of the chapter that Governor Cox was talking about. So that would be it. Thank you, Mr.
All right.
Mayor.
Thank you for that thought. Thank you very much. Councilman Dr. Adam Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Councilman Voluntas, for those very nice words. I have a short report this month. During the month, I had the opportunity to participate in the Royal Palm Beach High School Youth Civics Council's, the kickoff celebration that was led by our mayor. Councilwoman Sharps was with us. It was very well attended by students, and I understand over 30 students have signed up for the civic. I'm sorry? 32, wonderful. So we're looking forward to them getting involved and learning about civics here in Royal Palm Beach. The Royal Palm Beach Green Market's going to be open up again on October 11th for the season, every Saturday morning. Residents and organizations interested in a booth can apply at rpbgreenmarket.com. It's always a great time. Looking forward to the new Village app called Royal Palm Beach Connect. Looking forward to seeing how that helps us communicate with our residents. On my continuing journey to share some interesting AI tips with the other council members. I'm going to talk about Copilot this month because someone said I wasn't talking enough about Copilot. So an interesting way to use AI, like Copilot specifically, is if you're drafting an email, right? Obviously, AI can help you draft an email. It can help you, you can ask it to set the tone, you can ask it to help think through if someone would get offended at the email, and then you send the email. When you get a response back, you can also throw that into the Copilot and ask it what the tone of the response is, suggested replies, and it does give me very helpful information, especially on those very long emails. So just a suggestion for my fellow council members. And let's all say a prayer for the Dolphins tonight. I think they're going to win, so thank you.
Okay, thank you for all, except that last part.
Go Birds.
Yeah, okay. Councilwoman Brodowski?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to cede my time so we can get to this agenda.
Wow. Well, I'm going to take a little bit more time just to talk about some of the things. I mean, in the last 3 weeks or so, we have really had some fantastic engagements in the community and done a lot of really important things. Talking about the high school football team, that's fantastic. It really is. I mean, to go a number of games without not only beating your opponent, but without anybody scoring against you. And even though they're going up against another undefeated team, I'm really excited about it. It brings everybody up on the campus. And there's good reason to feel good about our schools in Royal Palm Beach. Right now, we have 5 A-rated schools, 1 B-rated school. That's higher than we've ever had in the 14 years I've been involved here. So I want to congratulate the principals, the students, of course. They actually do the work. And of course, the staff, the parents, and the community for lifting our schools. And I think that's a fantastic thing. And actually, if you all don't mind, how about let's give them a round of applause. And I know we're going to have more discussion about school-related items coming up. So tonight must be a academic night. Talked a little bit about the Youth Civics Leadership Program at Royal Palm Beach High School. We actually started out with 102 students in the Media Center listening to the presentation, which Village Manager did a great job of setting it all up. And each one of the department heads here in Royal Palm Beach went over to Royal Palm Beach High School to do that presentation. And I was a little concerned because that was a lot of people to keep 102 juniors and seniors in high school to keep their attention, keep them engaged, but they did. And the best part is, actually I got an update. We actually have 37 individual students signed up for this Youth Civics Leadership Program for the coming year. And I was told by the principal earlier today that there may be a few more coming in too. So I think that beat any of the expectations we had. But that says a lot of good things about the high school, about the village, and about interest in local government, which I'm glad you all showed up. I'd like to see you here, especially those that are from Royal Palm Beach, on a more frequent basis. But we're going to have a lot of students who are going to become well educated in what local government does and how it does it, so I'm excited about that. On September the 4th, the village actually partnered with the Central Palm Beach County Chamber of Commerce and conducted a small business roundtable. We had about 30 attendees at that table from about a dozen different local businesses, and it was a good start on engaging our businesses, but I think it's important for us to continue to pursue that. It was a good session where we both listened to one another. I think that's a great start, so hopefully we can do another session maybe in the evening, since we did that one in the morning to maybe get better turnout for that, and I thank our 2 councilwomen for being there with me, and of course the the village manager, who does a great job of organizing all of that. I'm also pleased to announce that I've been appointed to the Florida League of Cities Legislative Committee on Finance and Taxation. And so this is a good year, hopefully, to be on a committee like that, given the initiative that the governor and the legislature has taken toward property taxes. And we'll get into the discussion here, but it is one that needs to be taken on carefully. I did get a response from one of the co-chairs on the Select Committee for the House on that subject, indicating that they will not be recommending elimination of property taxes. There are many variations on that theme, and then hopefully what we'll come up with is something that makes sense all the way around. So keep your reading glasses on and keep staying in touch with your representatives. This is a really important issue. Countywide Master Transportation Plan. I don't know how many of you all have heard about that. I know how many of you all have experienced traffic congestion. So we can put those two together, and then we'll get the kind of support we need to actually produce a plan that may ultimately help us deal with that in a more complete, holistic fashion. So much of the work that's done on our roads are done in kind of a silo effect, where each city does what they think is best, and then the county does what they think is best, and there really isn't an overarching plan. And so this countywide transportation master plan is designed to put that together. They have been going around. The contractor who's doing this is WSP, and they've been showing up at various locations, asking the public to show up and participate in a public input meeting. The one that I attended was out in Loxahatchee Groves at Palm Beach State College campus, which, by the way, they just opened a brand new medical facility out there. It's fantastic. But the purpose of that was to gather input, and they did it in a very unique way, very engaging way. It was a real-time survey where they posed questions to everybody in the audience. Everybody took out their phones and used it in a constructive way to actually respond to those questions. And you could see real-time results that gave priorities and concerns and things like that as input. So if you see an opportunity to participate in one of those countywide transportation master plan kind of activities, public input activities, please do that, please. And if it doesn't occur to you until you get to the next time you see a traffic light that you cycle through without moving, think of it at that time then, because this is how we make a difference in an important area, I believe. So with that said, I think we'll leave it at that because I do respect the fact that we do have a long agenda, and I'd like to get on with that as well. So that completes my report for this evening. The next order of business on the agenda is petitions from the public. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. So focused on doing this. Do you, village manager, have any? Village attorney? No reports? Okay, with my apologies. Next order of business is petitions. Are there any petitions from the public? All right, not seeing any, we'll move to the next agenda item, which is statements from the public. These are special kind of statements. And that would be statements from the public on non-agenda or consent agenda items. Now I have comment cards, which, excuse me, I'm breaking news here.
We have 4 more.
We now have over 30 comment cards, but they have to do with an agenda item, so we will get to those in due time. Are there any non-agenda item or consent agenda item comments from the public? Not seeing any. We don't have any cards.
No, Mayor, we do not.
Do we have any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Okay, then I will close the floor to public comment on with regard to non-agenda and consent agenda items, and then we'll move to the next agenda, which is the consent agenda. Madam Clerk, will you please read the consent agenda items
Yes,
into the
Mayor, I
record?
will. Number 1, approval of the minutes of the council regular meeting of August 21st, 2025. 2, adoption of resolution number 2527, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, authorizing publication of village legal notices on a publicly accessible website as an alternative to newspaper publication, providing for notice of the use of such website for legal advertising purposes, providing for maintenance of a registry of persons desiring receipt of village notices by first-class mail or email, directing a link to the notice website be conspicuously posted on the village's website, providing an effective date and for other purposes. 3, authorization for the village manager to execute the second addendum to the agreement for Village Hall custodial services with Clean Space Incorporated to extend the agreement for the second 1-year renewal period under the existing terms. Funding for the second addendum to the agreement for custodial services is budgeted in the Public Works operating budget. 4, adoption of resolution number 2531, a resolution of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting a revised schedule of fees and charges, specifically repealing Resolution Number 2502, providing that this schedule of fees and charges shall be available for inspection at all times at the Village Hall during regular business hours, providing an effective date and for other purposes. 5, approval of special event permit for the Village of Royal Palm Beach to hold Rock and Fall Fest on Friday, October 3rd, 2025, from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., and Saturday, October 4th, 2025, from 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Royal Palm Beach Commons. 6, approval of a special event permit for the Village of Royal Palm Beach to hold a green market and bazaar at Village Hall every Saturday, beginning October 11th, 2025, through May 16th, 2026, from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. 7, approval of a special event permit for Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office to hold a night out against crime at Royal Palm Beach Commons on Wednesday, October 15th, 2025, from 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. 8, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into a renewal contract with the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust to cover property casualty, cyber, auto, and workers' compensation for policy period fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27 for the Village of Royal Palm Beach. 9, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into a contract with Aquatic Vegetation Control Incorporated for aquatic vegetation maintenance services within the village's canal system in an amount not to exceed $243,300. 10, consideration of the approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into an agreement with Vertosoft LLC to provide Gravity software services for the budgeting suite. This agreement piggybacks off of Omnia Partners Contract 01165. The total cost under the agreement shall not exceed $105,727, which will be funded by the general fund. 11, approval of the bid award in the amount of $131,810, and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with Johnson Davis Incorporated, the highest ranked bidder for stormwater pipe repair and replacement funds, to come from the Stormwater Pipe Repair and Replacement Project, project number SW2502. 12, approval of the bid award in the amount of $625,569.30, and authorization for the village manager to execute a contract with the lowest responsible bidder for La Mancha Avenue drainage to Heavy Civil Incorporated. 13, approval and authorization for the mayor to enter into an interlocal agreement with Palm Beach County for the collection of transportation impact fees. 14, approval and authorization for the village manager to renew the custodial services cultural center events agreement with Nevis Cleaning Services, commencing October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026. 15, approval and authorization for the village manager to enter into a professional service agreement for entertainment services with the Nine Society, commencing October 1st, 2025, and ending September 30th, 2026.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Does any member of the council wish to pull any item from the consent agenda for further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, number 15, please.
Item number 15 is pulled. Any others? If not, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda without item number 15.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 14.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Items 1 through 14 on the consent agenda pass. Thank you very much. Councilman Miller, would you like to address item number 15? Well, it was read. But you can read it again.
No, it's okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if the Nine Society are here, Mr. Manager.
No, I don't believe they're here.
Okay, the reason I pulled this item is I just wanted to make sure that they got the message. A number of meetings ago, we had a young man come to our meeting with many, many signatures talking about the music at our performances, specifically asking that if there was kid-friendly shows, that they should have kid-friendly music. And I just wanted to make sure the Nine Society did get that message that young man asked. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would you care to make a motion to approve that?
I make a motion to approve item 15, approval and authorization with agreement with the Nine Society.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 15 on the consent agenda is unanimously approved. Thank you very much. Okay, then moving on to the regular agenda. We have 4 quasi-judicial items this evening, and let us begin with the first item. Public hearing to consider application number 25-076, parent Z, TEXT, and ordinance number 1064 on first reading, an application by Dynamite Dog Training, amending the village, it's hard to read that and not smile, amending the village's zoning code to amend sections 26-22 and 26-89 of the village code to add a definition for the term pet training and add pet training as a special exception use within the general commercial CG zoning district and add entirely new section 26-75.9 pet training to provide for supplemental land use regulations for this use. I will turn to Mr. O'Brien, our Planning and Zoning Director.
Great, thank you, Mayor. As you stated, the applicant is requesting a zoning text amendment to Village Code, Section 2662 and 2689, to add a definition for the term pet training and add pet training as a special exception use in the general commercial zoning district, and an entirely new Section 2675-9 pet training to provide supplemental regulations. Here on this slide is the language that we are proposing to add. The definition is for pet training is daytime training services for pets, including structured obedience and behavioral programs using positive reinforcement techniques with no overnight boarding or kenneling. And some of the supplemental regulations that we are proposing is inside the facility there shall be designated potty areas where waste is collected, bagged, and cleaned and disposed of immediately. Conduct routine checks to surrounding areas outside the facility to ensure the area is clean of any pet waste. These checks include the removal of fecal waste and sanitation of frequent urination. And there is adding the pet training to Section 2689. The local planning agency approved this application on August 26, 2025, and staff is recommending approval of this application. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Would the applicant care to say anything?
Sure. I'm Jamie Diaz. I'm a certified professional dog trainer for the last 17 years. I use all positive reinforcement, so that means nothing bad for the dog. No poop change, no shock collars, anything like that. This would be my 5th location, so I'm super excited to be able to hopefully open here soon. Very known in the community by all the veterinarians, have great relationships with them, working relationships with them, and I'm just excited to bring dog training to
Well, that's fantastic. That sounds good. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, if I could, because this is an ordinance, if I could read the ordinance title before you entertain a motion. At your pleasure, can I read it now, sir?
Please.
Thank you. It's ordinance number 1064, as you said, an ordinance of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 26 zoning at Section 26-22 definitions to add a definition for the term pet training. At Section 26-89 CG General Commercial District to add pet training as a special exception use within the General Commercial Zoning District. And at Section 2675.9 pet training to create an entirely new section to provide supplemental regulations for these facilities, providing that each and every other section and subsection of Chapter 26 zoning shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing a conflicts clause, a severability clause, and authority to codify, providing an effective date and for other purposes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I'd like to open it up to public comment. Do we have any cards
No, Mayor, we do not.
raised, Mr. Manager? In the audience care to comment, ask any questions? I see none, so I will close the floor to public comment and turn to the council. Are there any comments or questions by any members of the council? Seeing any, I will entertain a motion to approve agenda item, regular item number 1.
Motion to approve regular agenda item R1.
Second.
I have a motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. It passes unanimously. When do you think you might be able to open up?
December. we're waiting to do the build out for approval, so
Okay,
hopefully.
well, welcome to Royal
Come
Palm
check
Beach.
us out, yes.
That's fantastic, thank
Good
you.
luck, and
Good
thank
luck.
you for training our dogs.
Okay, moving on to the second regular agenda item. Public hearing to consider application number 25-057 AAR, an application by Insight Studio on behalf of Florida South Division LLC. The applicant is requesting architectural and aesthetic approval for the purchase of installation of 3 pedestal ring sculptures ranging from 4 feet to 6 feet in diameter and up to 13 feet tall without the base, titled Colorful Perspectives by artist Lucy Cachavas, in order to fulfill the Art in Public Places requirement for a property located at 1171 North State Road 7. I will turn to Mr. O'Brien, our Director of Planning and Zoning, again for a presentation.
And Mr. Mayor, before we do that, this one is quasi judicial, so I need to swear in the applicant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And staff. Is the applicant present on this item? All right, Bradford, I'll go ahead and swear you in. Ray, is the applicant online by chance?
No, I don't believe so.
Ryan, I'll swear you in. Could you raise your right hand for this item and then any other any other quasi judicials? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. And I'll turn to the council for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
Just the village manager.
Just staff.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now back to you, Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you, Mayor. As you stated, the applicant is asking for architectural and aesthetic review for the installation of 3 pedestal ring sculptures at the Aldi Warehouse Distribution Center. That site is illustrated here on this slide. Here, this slide is, speaking of. So this slide here illustrates the location of this art piece. It is at the entrance of the Aldi Distribution Center. This slide is an illustration of the art pieces. And if you've been to Mission Barbecue or in that shopping center, you see the white sculpture that they have there. So this is the artist, and that artist was commissioned to do this piece. And it looks as though there is a rendering here this evening. And the Planning and Zoning Commission, I'm a little distracted at of what they brought in, the model. So Planning and Zoning did recommend approval of this application, and staff is recommending approval of this application. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Now, since the applicant is here, I'll give the applicant a chance to be sworn in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you come to the podiums, please, and give the council your names? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can you all raise your right hands? I'm going to swear you in at the same time. Do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you very much. And so I would turn to the applicant and ask if you would like to add anything, and if you've taken the time to bring that replica.
I do have any questions. This is a scale, these are the scale maquettes that we will be working with the fabricator, and they're all powder-coated aluminum. And there was a lot of information in the presentation, so if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, well, let me open it up to public comment to see if anyone in the public would care to ask any questions or make any comments. Do we have any? Where'd she go? Do we have any cards? We have no cards. Do we have any hands raised? Okay. And so I turn to the audience and see if anyone cares to comment or ask any questions. And I see none, so I will then turn to the council and see if there are any questions or comments. None? Well, oh, there we go. Okay.
I just want to thank the artist. Great sculptures. Look forward to them coming into the village.
Thank you very much.
And so my question is, where exactly will they be located, and will they be generally arranged the way that you have them there?
They will be arranged like this, and
If you could show my presentation, there is a slide that does show there.
so they're in the median, and that was the site that had been approved prior to this. And so they do range in height. This is 15 feet total. This one is 12 feet total, and this one is 9 feet 8 inches total. And they're on pedestal, and they will have lighting, very much similar to what I did for the other white piece that's in the,
Cypress Key.
Barbecue?
yes.
Great.
So they will be lit, and the landscape is kept very simple, just a low liriope around the, like a ground cover.
Well, we thank you very much for that. And this, of course, is part of our Art in Public Places, and we keep adding these pieces to Royal Palm Beach, so make sure you pay attention as you're driving around and enjoy these pieces of art. If there are no other questions.
One more question,
Okay, yes.
please. Thank you. Good evening, Lucy. It's great to see you.
Good to
Can
see
you
you.
share a little bit about the inspiration how you designed these?
So this piece is already done, and because we're changing it, I've changed it. I have renamed the trio Colorful Perspectives. This piece, which is already done and was actually shown at the Cultural Council 2018, I believe, was called Infinite Possibilities. So the circles have a lot of meaning, and it's about infinity and just the recycling of life in general. The way that they're placed is as if they're bubbling up out of the earth, and they're very playful. And so this one was called Infinite Possibilities because as you go around them, it almost has emotion and it changes form. So even though it's standing still, as you change your perspective, it changes. And then with the different colors for this piece, it was something that that Aldi wanted me to try, and I think it worked out really well because the negative space you can see through, and the other colors. It'll be a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Comments or questions? Yes. Vice Mayor?
My only question is, did the village manager have any input to that orange and blue being in there? It's not orange and green like a lot of people down here like Miami, but I appreciate the red.
Moving right
That wasn't
along.
a serious question.
Moving right
I was
along.
just joking, but thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that input. There is a recurring theme here, if you all haven't figured it out yet. It's got something to do with football, and one in particular. So, if there are no other questions or comments from the council, I'll look for a motion to approve regular agenda item number 2.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number 2.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously, and we look forward to actually seeing it in place.
Much appreciate it.
Thank you. Great job.
Great job at the one over by Mission Barbecue. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, let's move on to regular agenda item number 3. It's a public hearing to consider application number 24-121, SPM AAR, an application by Urban Design Studio, and resolution number 24-40, confirming council action. The applicant is seeking major site plan modification and architectural approval to remove the entry guardhouse structure, redesign, I guess that's right, the cabana, multi-use court, and pool areas, along with other modifications to the site for the property located 0.27 miles west of State Road 7, US 441, and the agent is Lindsay Jean Lewis of Urban Design Studios. And so this is a quasi-judicial attorney would swear everyone in.
Could you state your name for the record?
Lindsay Jean-Louis.
Thank you. Could you raise your right hand for me? I'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. And I'll turn back to the council for any ex parte disclosures on this item.
Staff.
Village manager.
Okay, with that done, then I will turn to Mr. O'Brien again
Great, thank you.
for presentation.
The applicant is seeking a major site plan modification and architectural approval to remove the guardhouse structure, redesign the cabana, multi-use court and pool areas, and other modifications to the site. This slide illustrates the site plan. The site plan indicates main access from Lowell Road, as it had been before. The changes made to the site plan meet code, and many of the changes are very slight field adjustments needed to complete the development. Here's a big, long laundry list. I'm going to spare everyone here on the dais and in the audience that laundry list, but it does meet code. And there were some landscape modifications, additions of some fencing, and along with just minor field adjustments to the landscaping. Again, a big, long laundry list. As you can see, there are no major deficiencies in the landscaping along the roadways and on the perimeters, and it does meet village code. The Planning and Zoning Commission approved this application at their August 26, 2025 meeting and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0, and staff is recommending approval of this application. And I'll turn the floor over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Would the applicant care to add anything?
Bradford covered mostly everything. Again, this is just as per usual as you get closer to the construction and permitting process, but myself and a representative of the home builder for the site are available for any questions. Thank you.
Okay, so I will open the floor to public comment. Are there any cards?
No, Mayor.
Any hands raised? No, Mayor. Would anyone in the audience care to comment or ask questions about this agenda item? Not seeing anyone wishing to do that, I'll close the floor to public comment. I'll turn to the council and ask if there are any comments or questions from the council. I have a question here.
My only question is, these changes, I'm just assuming because of the lapse of time, these are things that are going to improve the project and make it more marketable, which seems to be the reason behind everything from what I read.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
We've been in a lot of back and forth with staff as far as getting into the details, making sure everything meets code and is a proper product for future buyers.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. If there are no other comments or questions from the council, I will entertain a motion to approve regular agenda item number 4.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number 3.
I'm sorry. I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Not seeing any opposed. It passes unanimously. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, now we move on to regular agenda item number 4. Public hearing to consider application number 25-059 MPM, an application by Schmidt Nichols on behalf of EDX Royal Property LLC and resolution number 25-20 confirming council action. The applicant is seeking a master plan modification in order to convert the referenced use of Pod 7 on the master plan for a charter school to a public and private academic institution for a property located on the south side of Southern Boulevard, approximately 0.27 miles west of State Road 7, US 441, and the agent is John Schmidt of Schmidt Nichols. I'll turn to, quasi-judicial, so would you please swear in?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And the applicant is here for R4 as well as R5, so I'll swear them in for both, and I'll take the council's ex parte disclosure separately if that's okay with the council. Can you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Alicia Lewis.
Thank you. Could you raise your right hand and I'll swear you in? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. And I'll turn to the council for ex parte disclosures on item R4.
Spoke with the applicant.
And I met with the applicant representatives.
I spoke with the village manager, Jeff Sluggett, and Brian and Mike Botello.
I spoke with village manager and Jeff Sluggett.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're now at the point where we are ready for the presentation by our...
Ready for you already. Let's do it.
We are, and I think everybody else in here is too.
Great, thank you again, Mayor. The applicant is requesting a master plan modification to modify the Village Royale master plan in order to convert the referenced use of Pod 7 on the master plan from charter school to a public-private academic institution. The extent of the master plan is shown here on this slide. Village Code Section 2632F 5B8, intended use of all buildings and structures requires that the intended use for each building be labeled on the site plan. In this case, the two buildings must reflect academic institution instead of the previously approved labeled charter school. Now, the applicant is requesting a change in the intended use to a public-private academic institution. On April 18th, 2024, the Village Council considered a request to amend the Village Royale Master Plan, formerly known as Tuttle Royale. The request was to change the designation and use of Pod 7 from a charter school to a public and private academic institution. After review, the Village Council denied the request, determining that it did not meet the requirement for the compatibility with the character and living conditions of the surrounding neighborhood. This slide illustrates the approved master plan of record with the indication of the previously approved charter school. And that is circled here in red. The Planning and Zoning Commission considered this application on August 26, 2025, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. And staff is recommending approval of this application, Mayor, and I'll turn the floor back over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Would the applicant care to add anything?
Yes, good evening. My name is Alicia Lewis. I'm a land use attorney for the applicant. And just for the record, I'm not sure if you need my address, but I'm with the law firm of Nason Yeager. My address is 750 Park of Commerce Boulevard in Boca Raton. And I am here on behalf of the applicant, but because staff has done such an outstanding job with their presentation, and because it's Thursday night football, I couldn't help myself. I had to stick with the theme. But because we have to get to some football tonight, I will be very brief in my presentation and really just go over the highlights of what we are really excited to bring to the village. So as staff stated, the site is located in Pod 7 of the Tuttle Royale Master Plan. You actually just approved an amendment to the same master plan. That was Pod 4. This is Pod 7. The site is approximately 10 acres, just a little over 10 acres. And again, our focus is only on Pod 7. This is all that we're requesting to modify. Our first request is a master site plan amendment for Pod 7 to allow for a public and private academic institution. So as staff stated, our first request is to amend the master plan to allow the use of a public or private institution. By amending that master site plan, then we would move on to amend or to create a site plan that supports that master plan. So here's the site again, but this is actually a rendering that reflects what Pod 7 would look like after this amendment is hopefully approved. And as I previously stated, the site plan modification would be necessary because we're amending the master plan. That modified site plan is approximately 77,000 square feet. It includes the institution that we're planning to construct on the property. So the building, the parking lot, the drive aisles, the buffers, and a 9,500 square foot gymnasium. That's one story for the kids. So here's our proposed site plan. I strongly believe site plans are meant to be seen and not heard, so I'll be very brief. But as you can see, there's lush landscaping, there's a playing field, and this slide will give you a better picture of where these different parts of the campus are located. At full capacity, we anticipate having 1,500 students. We are overparked, so we are providing more parking than is required by code. The grades K through 8 will be located in an approximately 40,000 square foot building that's 2 stories and highlighted in red. Grades 9 through 12 will be located in the area highlighted in blue, and it's also a 2-story building that's approximately 37,000 square feet. The gymnasium that I just spoke about, the 9,500 square foot gymnasium, is located in the purple area. And the 2 areas highlighted in yellow symbolize the fire lanes that are required and the emergency access points. Architectural approval naturally goes with site plan approval because it's the approval of the actual design, architecture, and look of the building. That approval is part of agenda item number 5, but I'm just parsing it out because they're technically separate. So, and I wanted to show off these really great elevations. So this is an aerial view of what the institution will look like once it's completed. And this is a pedestrian view showing you what the actual building and massing would look like. And here's another angle, elevations. Staff has recommended approval. We also received a recommendation of approval, from your planning board, and we're asking for your approval today. And we are in agreement with any of the conditions that staff included in their staff report for approval. And we've listed on a couple slides justifications for why we think you should approve this request. Outside of the amazing group of residents who have taken time out of their day to join us this evening, I just want to highlight just a few reasons that we personally think that our request not only benefits the community, but is supported by the community. So over the past 5 years, we have tried diligently to find a charter school operator of the quality that we would want to bring to the village. However, that hasn't happened due to different changes in the charter school market. Private schools are a huge asset. They bring a different customer base to the village, so that the retail and commercial components of what you've approved already are not only successful, but that they thrive. We listed some of the existing private schools, and all of these schools currently have a wait list. So there is a demand and a need for a private school in this area. Again, the local economic incentives that come with bringing a high-quality operator and parents and students to the area. We also will accept the Universal Voucher Program, and we will provide scholarships based on financial need. I pulled from a letter that you all received from the Business Development Board of Palm Beach County, and they really just echoed the sentiments that I just shared with you, that this is not only a need, there is a constant conversation that the business department, or the business board, try to say that really fast, that the business board really just echoed my sentiments that they run into this issue constantly, that people want to relocate to the area, but they want to also have, the schools that they can put their children in. So it's a C-suite level executive issue. It's an issue that not only helps solve so many different problems by supporting this project in our request, but it also brings new ideas and new people to the community. So thank you very much. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And if I can't answer those questions, there are a lot of really smart people behind me that I'm sure can answer your questions. But if possibly, because we have so many residents here tonight and because they've taken time out of their day to be here, they did sign multiple cards. I think you said 30. If they could, to show their support, they have these really cool green paddles. And if they could wave those, just so you could see the amount of supporters that we have this evening. And we'll do our best because we know Councilman Miller needs to go and watch some football. So if we could allow that to reflect, the level of support and the demand for our request. So again, I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you for your time. And again, anybody behind me can help out if I can't answer. Thank you.
Great, thank you for that presentation and also for the reminder of the football game. Which seems to be a never-ending theme here this evening. So what I would like to do now is open it up for public comment. I know the answer to my question, do we have any cards? Because indeed we do. So what I'm going to do is invite the members of the audience to step up to the mic and share your comments with us by telling us who you are and what your address is. We'll start off with Michael Tuttle. cards do I have there?
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Michael Tuttle. I'm here representing all the property owners for the Tuttle Royale Master Association. We fully support the transition from charter school to private school. There are many reasons over the years why originally we wanted charter school, but a few factors that have came up in our research lately have been Broward County has a deficiency of 50,000 students, so they have 50,000 empty seats in their public school system. Dade County has roughly 20,000 empty seats. We believe that a private school for the village would help give the residents more choice, more freedom, and it would also provide a lot of good jobs for teachers in the area to be working at that facility. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next is, I'm sure I'm not going to get this right, Bjarne Borg. There we go. Please let me know how close I got.
Yes, my name is Bjarne Borg. I'm the property owner, and we have been looking at different developments and tried to sell this property to charter schools over the last couple of years, but we haven't been successful. So the only way we have seen to continue this development is for a private school, which we also have heard is a big need for different companies coming down to Florida to be able to have their employees' kids in schools here. That is one of the largest bottlenecks for a lot of companies moving to West Palm Beach, for example.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. The next card I have is Ralph Arzog. Is there a Ralph in the room?
Ralph Arza.
Can't really read that last name.
Arza, A-R-Z-A.
No, all right, I guess Mr. Arza left. Oh, had me fooled there for a second. Okay, the next card is Amy Bennett. Miss Bennett, please come on down and give us your name again and your address, please.
I'm sorry?
Your address as well, please.
Amy Bennett, and my address is 71 El Verano Avenue, Arcadia, Florida, 34266. Thank you for having me. I just want to say this quickly. What you were talking about, we felt like we were in a school board meeting. It's fabulous. I've been an educator since 1990 in 4 different states. I have a lot of varied experiences. So what I wanted, it was just fabulous to hear the civic leadership, the football. My husband was a football coach. My father played for the Gators. My dad was a football coach. Very important in our lives, although we had 4 daughters. But anyways, we have a grandson now. But anyways, it's very important to understand it's almost an oxymoron when you hear me talk as a public educator, and that's what I am now. I'm actually for choice, school choice. And I'll tell you this, if you're an educator, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Every child has their own specific needs. They're all different. So when we teach, when we look at a child, we look at it and we do differentiation. So I can see some educators are doing their head, so you know what I'm talking about. Differentiation means, usually I'm very loud.
Yeah, please.
Sorry.
People are watching on the internet.
Okay, so when you talk about differentiation, you have to meet the child where their needs are. Private schools give you, you're obviously lacking in that area. So this gives the children and the people, the mothers and the fathers, a choice for their students. It gives them a chance to meet these children and meet their varied needs. So it is kind of an oxymoron, but I do believe in choice. I believe that's why we have a great country. We have choice, and this gives them some type of choice.
Great. All right, thank you. All right, next is Dr. Bobby Bennett. What are we doing?
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to ask again if, because there are so many speakers, they all don't necessarily want to speak, they just want to show their support. So if they could, just by showing their paddles, or if they could pass or inform the clerk they just want to see if they can just show their support.
I am more than happy to accommodate that, but I'm just going from the mark that says I want to speak. So if you all are interested in showing your support by raising your paddles, I don't see any problem in that, but you also have the opportunity to speak. So I'm not really going to know who doesn't want to, so we'll go through these cards. Dr. Bennett.
Yes, Bobby Bennett, I'm from Arcadia, Florida, 71, El Verano, Arcadia, Florida. I've been a lifelong public educator, and I hope y'all beat Camden County. I was a high school head football coach for 20 years before I had a second part of my career and became a school administrator, got a doctorate, and became a superintendent of schools. I am a public educator. Let me tell you, the number one reason I believe in school choice, though, is what's best for kids. That's the reason you go into business. What's best for kids, and every kid does have a different niche. They have different needs. I absolutely believe competition is the thing that makes America a unique place in the world. The competition that has made us great, makes school districts better for public schools, makes charters better, makes privates better. I 100% endorse this opportunity for this community. I think it's a great opportunity and a life changer for your students and your community. I think it'll bring people to your community. I believe you'll have an opportunity to bring children into kindergarten, take them out in 12th grade and have them on a pipeline to college. Because of the voucher system, this opens up a whole new world for students. Again, I'm a public educator, but I know what the competition's meant for our community, the difference it's made. Our graduation rate right now in our community is 18% higher than it was prior to the advent, and I believe it's simply because we've had to compete and do a better job as a public school district. I wholly endorse this opportunity. I think it's a great opportunity for your children, for your families, and for your leadership of this community. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And we have your phone number, so we'll let you know if we won or not. Since that seems to be of great interest, we'll let you know whether or not Royal Palm Beach High School won. All right.
We're going to win.
Michael Glazer. Just a paddle. All right, thank you. See, that does work. All right, very good. Thank you for coming. Bradford Bell. Paddle. All right. We might have to institute this as a new way of engaging the public here. We'll just put them out there for specific issues. Pastor Cedric Mays. Pastor Mays. Okay, so I don't see him this evening. Bob Bradley. Mr. Bradley.
I'll speak from back here. It's pretty easy.
No, please. As the Vice Mayor reminded me a little while ago, we have people online and they can't hear you from back there.
That's all right, no problem. My name's Bob Bradley. I'm a business owner of Village of Royal Palm Beach. I'm in the business park, been here for 40 years. I believe we should all support the need for different schools to encourage our children, and in my case, grandchildren, to achieve their highest potential. As a business owner, I believe it will have economic impact on our community, add significant capital into the city, attract new families and professionals to our area, and create jobs. It would also drive spending to our local businesses, and since I'm in a local business, that would be great. I personally can only see the positives for what this will do for our community, and therefore I would like to ask the council members to support this very important school opening. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Ludberg. Mr. Ludberg, welcome back.
Hello. Mark Rodberg, 4500 PJ Boulevard. I very much looking forward to building a first-class K through 12 education facility at that property. As you know, I've been tied to it as a contract buyer, and Bjarne Borg's my partner in the ownership of the property. And I think it's been 10 years, 9 years. We got approved 6 years ago, and it's gone through its various twists and tribulations of what to put there and what would be the right fit. And I had a nice conversation yesterday with Linda Terranova. We graduated in 1984, still high school. As most of you know, Linda had the Western Academy for many years. We went to school together, and she really wanted to relocate the Western there. And we went through the cost to build a new school, and it's too far a stretch. And the opportunity, as you know, maybe you know or maybe you don't know, I originally bought the Albertsons and converted it to the Renaissance. And I got 17 stipulations, and I had 1 year to complete them with the various adjoining property owners and the Walgreens and right on down to the nail spa. There were tenants in the space, in the common space. And we made it here with building official, Mr. Rob Hill, in 9 minutes. We had 9 minutes to spare for our development order didn't expire. And by God, it did. And as you know, we converted that. And they started off gangbusters, and for various reasons, including the operator telling me that they could have done a better job with leadership, they consolidated the campuses. And I bought it back and passed it over. First thing I did was call Linda Terranova, and I sold that property to her with no personal markup because it was important. I liked what she'd done. I have a 16-year-old at the time. She volunteered to take her into the Western. This is 3 or 4 years ago, and it was a long haul. I live up in Palm Beach Gardens. But it's a long time I've been involved here out in Royal Palm. Originally, I got the building permit for the Regal Theater, and I did probably a dozen interiors over in the shopping center when Southeast Center built it 35 years ago. And I was actually owner of the Anthony Marvin. I say Marvin's Marvin Anthony, the Anthony's Groves. And ultimately, I sold that to Transeastra that built the Victoria Gardens. What we envision and what we're going to do is put a very conscientious, highly successful, first-class operator. And it's going to be a good fit, and we're going to do an excellent job. This will be the 45th school education facility that I built and constructed all over the state of Florida. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we probably got the gist. Thank you again for your comments. So I have 23 comment cards here that do not indicate wishing to speak. Is there anything I need to do in particular other than just to record it as part of the record?
That's sufficient.
Okay, and they are all in support. And so let the record show that we do have 23 comment cards that are all in support but do not wish to speak at this time.
Thank you. That's sufficient, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. And so let us, let's see, that will put us at a place where we can close the public comment at this particular point in time, unless somebody's raised their hand. You would like to speak? Come on up. Or come on down, depending on what your perspective is. Please join us by telling us what your name is and what your address is.
Hi, my name is Missy Rodberg. I'm Mark Rodberg's daughter, and I live at 11741 Cottonwood Avenue in Palm Beach Gardens. And I would like to express that I've been in like all 3 different kinds of like casual common types of schools, private, public, and charter. And from my experience, I would say the private schools mostly like file down on like more options for the kids, like more opportunities, because it's like a smaller audience of like students that are there, and then people that like come to see like football games, like any kind of games, like basketball games, whatever. Because then like the students, some of them want like bigger like occupations in the future to do with football, to do with basketball, to do with cheer even. And like it gives them like a more hands-on to get chances like that, since it's more of like a lesser range of students and students that are like getting money put into their success necessarily. And to add on to that, with the social aspect for a student or a child that goes to the private school, they most likely choose to find their own like friend groups or stuff like that, and they get to create more friends and get more chances as well in that aspect. And I mean, there is a lot of the same things in each of the different schools, charter, public, and private. And it just gives them more options like in the future, I would say, and it gives them more like investment to their future. Yes.
Very much. There's nothing like a little firsthand experience, right? We have another.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Sherrod Walker, and I live at 6690. I put a comment card in, but I just wanted to give an opportunity to say, one, go Dolphins tonight, most importantly. And secondarily is that, I have two girls as a parent and as a lifelong educator, so I am super intrigued about the educational opportunities that are coming to Royal Palm. Former high school principal and teacher, so I value education, number one. Number two, education is what brought my family here. And most importantly is we are excited to see what this may look like in the future. And as a parent, I am wholeheartedly want to know and understand what this may mean for my kids as we continue to go down the road. And, I am in support of the options of what that may look like here. So I implore you all to think that through. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your comments. Okay. Last opportunity. Any other comments from the audience? I'll take that as not just raising your sign. With your name, please.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Stephanie Russell. I'm at 442 Rainbow Springs in Royal Palm, and I have a son who is learning disabled, and I've heard so many great things about private schools. However, the wait list is insane. And I think that this would be an awesome, awesome move, especially since this private school does accept the vouchers. It gives a lot of options for kids all over, but as a parent, it's very important to me, especially since my kid just needs a little bit more attention. And I think another private school would be awesome here. So I really appreciate you guys listening to us and taking our benefits and our concerns into effect. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your comments. Okay, no kidding this time. Last opportunity. Okay, not seeing any more desires to speak from the public. I'm going to close the floor to public comment at this point, and then I'm going to turn to the council. What, if any, comments or questions do my fellow members of the council have? Yes, Councilwoman Sharp.
I have a statement, and I'm going to say it so it can encompass both number 4 and number 5. I know I'm new to the council, but, Dallas Cowboys is my team. Anyhow, I'm a proud graduate of public schools, period. And I'm grateful, for the teachers who believed in me. So when this idea was first mentioned to me, all of me, including all of those parts of me that loved my past teachers in my public school, said, what did you, what? And it wasn't a good what. I remember going to an all-black school in 4th grade. I remember being bused to a segregated high school. I remember when my grandmother got beaten for trying to vote. I remember when the term private school was used to keep certain students from going to school. And all those things are part of my memories, and they're a part of the facts of life, period. It is what it is. But we're not there anymore, nor are we at where we were when I went to public school. When I went to public school, my great-grandfather made sure that I sat on that porch and did my homework because he and my grandmother were home all day. Parents don't have those options anymore because rent is $2,500 a month. And I know those to be realities. And then I got the opportunity in 2023 to work at a private school. Center for Creative Education is over off of 45th Street. And I can just say wonderful things about them all night long. but what really impressed me was the fact that their third graders, 89% of their third graders are reading at or above third grade. That matters. It is imperative that our children learn how to read. You can't do anything without knowing how to read. You can't even use ChatGPT or AI if you don't know how to read. Those things matter. So when I thought about that and I spoke to people and I had to be realistic to list my cons and my pros, and I came to the conclusion that it's not about public versus private or public versus private versus charter. It's about what the children are going to learn and the opportunity that the school is going to offer for our kids here in Royal Palm Beach. It's not us versus them. Strong private schools matter, and they make a difference. And so I'm really saying this to say that all of the things that and the due diligence that I followed did change my mind. I definitely support this, and I'm definitely going to make sure that I really want to go by and see the school, because I do the outreach and the counseling. I just want to come by and say, hey, that's all, and be there in case one of those kids wants to read to me. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you for being gung-ho about putting the school in place. That matters, because I don't want to be 92 years old sitting up here on this dais trying to make a decision. I want those students that have joined that leadership program and that's going to go to the school to be up here on this dais making decisions and being able to read to do so. And that's what I had to say.
Thank you. Any other comments from the council? Okay, then Vice Mayor, go ahead.
I just wanted to confirm, excuse me, Mr. O'Brien, last time this was before us, my main question was, what would the difference be between changing from a charter school to a private school as far as the traffic impact? And you indicated same thing, right?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm pretty much at the same place I was before, but I am a project of Florida's public schools. I went to nothing but Florida's public schools and universities. I have 3 children. They have attended nothing but public schools and my oldest, university here at FAU. I'm very pro public schools, and I think they're the backbone of our community. However, this situation, and when this was originally proposed, no doubt about it, my decision was based on the fact that this was going to be a public charter school. It was something that was K-12. It was something that was unique, not only in our community, but the county. So that is why I based that decision. However, that's not the decision that's before us today. What we're looking at now, because for what it's worth, there's an ambiguity in our code regarding whether, because the site plan specifically says charter, but there's wiggle room in the code that could say public or private institution. So based on those considerations, back around the first time, I thought they proved their case, and I approved or agreed with the private school, and I'm not changing now because I haven't heard or seen anything that's different. So that would be it, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments?
I have a couple of questions,
Okay.
actually. As we looked before at the old proposal and now looked at this one of the things that's really important to us is the education piece, regardless of where it's coming from, if it's private, whether it's charter, whether it's public. And being a good community partner is really important to us. So could the applicant tell us a little bit about how the proposed school will become friendly to our community, a component of the community, and a little bit about how you want to be good partners?
Yes, I have someone that's way smarter than me behind me, Lauren Hollader.
Could you
and
pull the mic a little closer to you?
I have someone behind me that's part of our team, Lauren Hollander, to answer that question for you.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, before she speaks, swear her in.
Yes.
Thank
please.
you. Could you say your name for the council, please?
Lauren Hollander.
Thank you. Raise your right hand for me. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, ma'am.
And so I'm sorry, I want to be very specific. First of all, thank you very much for your patience. I've worked with the developer for over 2 years now, and it's very specifically for Florida school choice advocacy. I'm thrilled that they've stuck with putting a school in this particular location because I think they had some alternatives, but they truly believe in the education need. So if you had a specific question, maybe I could help.
Really want to know how the school, with a private school, how will they encompass themselves with the community? How will they reach out to council? How will they involve themselves in some of the youth council we're doing? Anything with regard to our local community?
So one of the things, and I'm going to get there, but I'm thrilled to see, and I've participated in a few of the educational council advisory, education advisory council. Right. The idea that you have that, because I think you have all the educators in your community coming together to share what works, and I've observed the improvements, and that is no small feat to move a high school from lead letter advancing forward. So congratulations on the initiatives that are there. I'm certain that participant, that occupant, that operator, whatever anybody chooses to call them, the private school operator, would be a great community partner. They're going to be very supportive of all of the initiatives that I've witnessed and experienced, that I've seen everybody participating and supportive of each other. Very focused on the educational needs. And so I think they are also going to be very welcoming by issue of the scholarship program and accepting those scholarships to participate in anything that is merit-based, need-based. The voucher program, they will immediately apply and be a participant in that. So it allows for more parents to be able to reach that community. So it will be available to everyone.
Excellent, thank you.
Sure.
Do you know if the curriculum is going to be STEM, STEAM, other higher programs for other students, IB or ACE? Do you have any idea about that?
Almost all of the above. They're very focused on STEAM. I asked them specifically, what can I speak about? STEAM is super important, especially including the arts. So I do believe you're going to see very specific programs that may include the IB, not isolated to one program, but they will look to meet the needs of the students in the school at that time, so that if some of those dual enrollment that allow them to advance and earn those degrees while they're there in high school, they're going to encourage and support that as well. So you're going to have a wide variety of options.
Great, thank you.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. So anyone have any other questions for? Well, I do. So you began the conversation, or you added to our knowledge of what the plan is by talking about scholarships and need-based and that type of thing. So one of the concerns that we had when we first entertained this idea was the affordability of a private school here. And so you touched on that a little bit. If you'd like to elaborate further, that would be useful, because one of the considerations here is that we initially saw that as a walkable community, kind of a neighborhood, and a walk to school was ideal. Well, it didn't look like that was going to manifest itself for a number of reasons. But then the greater good for Royal Palm Beach clearly is one of the concerns that we have. And so when we think about private schools, we think about very expensive tuitions. And I think you addressed a little bit of that with a statement about a need-based kind of a scholarship. Can you elaborate at all or add anything to that?
Yes, thank you for that. I believe there's an important component that a school strives to be a partner in the community. They strive to be a great academic operator that delivers exactly what the students need, but also I think it's important to reach the community where their needs are. I think you've heard some folks talk about the demand. I think the Business Development Board expressed this pent-up unmet demand. I don't believe that it would be in the price range that is higher than it is within attainable reach based on analysis that have actually been done very specifically for the Village of Royal Palm Beach, based on trying to look at that median income, trying to look at the use of these scholarships. The organization that's actually a strong consideration right now, that unfortunately I'd talk about them, but we're on a confidentiality at this point, so I do believe we will come back to you with a full-blown explanation, and they will become a part of as much as possible to integrate within the community. But the scholarships will not be on a tested basis. You will have academic merit that may be on your academic achievements. There will be an interview process, but there will be a merit and need-based assessment. And so one of the things that was really important to a number of you when we talked about scholarships was how broad could this reach. With those variables in place, everybody in Royal Palm Beach could be an applicant and could participate in the school if it met that student's needs. So I just want to express that.
Okay, well, that is very good news. It really is. And it has a huge positive effect on my vote, my attitude toward this initiative. So I thank you for that. Anyone have any other comments or questions? Okay, not seeing any, then I thank you very much for your comments here.
We hope this has infinite possibilities as well.
We're paying very close attention tonight, I see, to the agenda. Good for you all. You're good students for that. But speaking of good students, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge our school board member, Ms. Marsha Andrews, who's here with us this evening. She didn't fill out a comment card. She chooses not to, but we're delighted to have you here, as always. So with that done, I think we can now move to, I will actually seek a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve regular agenda item 4.
And a second? I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you all very much. Thank you. We really, really do appreciate that. Okay, then we have agenda item number 5. Public hearing to consider application number 25-060, SPM AAR, an application by Schmidt-Nichols on behalf of EDX Royale Property LLC, and resolution number 25-21, confirming council action. The applicant is requesting site plan modification and architectural approval in order to convert the reference use for Pod 7 from a charter to a public and private academic institution, along with other various modifications to the site for a property located at 106th Avenue South. Agent John Schmidt of Schmidt-Nichols. I will now turn, that is a quasi-judicial.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. And the applicants and their speakers have been sworn, as has staff, so I'll just ask the council for ex parte disclosures on this item.
Again, the same.
Same for 4.
Thank you.
Okay, with that done, then I'll turn to Mr. O'Brien for a presentation.
Thank you again, Mayor. So I'll just start off by saying that the big part of this application here mirrors the considerations that were on the previous agenda. Then I'll just mention some of the other minor site plan modifications that will be occurring, which are revise the phasing of the project from the previously approved 3 phases to 1 phase of construction, and other various site modifications, including the installation of canopies, shifting of bike corrals, conversion of 1 basketball court to a general activity area, installation of additional landscaping and outdoor tables and chairs, increasing the floor ceiling heights, adjustment of window configurations, addition to exterior staircase adjacent to the basketball court, and accurately reflect rooftop equipment and downspouts, and upgrade the signage. Here is a slide showing the architecture of the building. The Planning and Zoning Commission approved this application at their latest meeting, and village staff is recommending approval of this application, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. The applicant have anything further they would like to add?
No, but thank you so much again for your time.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. I will open the floor to public comment. We have any other cards on that agenda item? Hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Okay, and last call for public comments. Not seeing any, I will close the floor to public comment at this time. I'll turn to the council for comments or questions. Not hearing any, then I will look for a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer a motion to approve agenda item number 5, public hearing to consider application number 25-060.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Again. So thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. We really appreciate you. If you want to stick around for the rest of the meeting, I would be delighted.
Thank you. They got football to watch too.
We'll give you a moment.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I thought that would have been a lot longer.
Thank you.
Was he really? So it was a tennis pro.
Oh, no, I know. I
I
think
did-
that was him. You don't think that's him?
Look,
You
look
don't
at,
think that's you think that's the legit Bjorn Borg? He was like 6'4", dude. He wasn't that tall.
screwed it up.
Bjorn was a tall dude. I don't know. It looks like him. I don't think that was the real Bjorn Borg. Does anyone know
the name was just
that guy
spelled the
wasn't
same. It was interesting.
real Bjorn Borg? The tennis pro, yeah. See, Bradford knows.
Okay.
He's got the same name.
All right.
Yeah, from the same coach.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue with the agenda, please, this evening. So we're on agenda item number 6. And that agenda item is as follows. Public hearing to consider application number 25-024, Comp Plan Text Amendment, and ordinance number 1057 on first reading and application by the Village of Royal Palm Beach, amending future land use element of the village's comprehensive plan to create an entirely new future land use designation, the mixed-use social center less than 40 acres. I will turn to our Director of Planning and Zoning then for the presentation.
Great, thank you. If I sound like an auctioneer while I'm reading my notes, and just, I apologize. Yeah. In June 2021, the Village of Royal Palm Beach partnered with the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council to conduct a comprehensive State Road 7 corridor study. The objective of this collaboration was to help the village envision future redevelopment opportunities along State Road 7. Additionally, the study aimed to provide recommendations for potential amendments to the village's comprehensive plan and zoning code, aligning with them with future market demands for redevelopment opportunities. This corridor is made up of almost exclusively of commercial uses, like many communities in South Florida. The village has experienced increased pressure for residential mixed-use development. The study area was the State Road 7 corridor from Okeechobee Boulevard south to Southern Boulevard. State Road 7 from Okeechobee to State Road Southern Boulevard. The study included a series of public outreach efforts, explored the potential redevelopment scenarios along State Road 7, and land use text amendments and zoning text amendment recommendations. As part of the State Road 7 corridor study, the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council developed a series of conceptual redevelopment plans for 4 sites along the corridor. The redevelopment concepts illustrate new buildings, blocks, and roadways, public open spaces. These concepts were intended to test densities and intensities of potential future development. These densities and intensities form the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council's recommendations for text amendments to the village's comprehensive plan and zoning code. At the Village Council meeting on February 16, 2023, the Village Council voted to accept the results of the State Road 7 corridor study. Village Council has instructed staff as part of a strategic planning initiative to bring forward comprehensive plan text amendment and subsequently a zoning text amendment based on the recommendations of the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council. Staff is requesting a comprehensive plan text amendment to create an entirely new future land use designation. The mixed-use social center, less than 40 acres. And the intent is for the mixed-use social center, less than 40 acres, designation is intended to allow for medium to large, innovative, and urban mixed-use developments that provide integrated, vibrant, compatible, and complementary uses within a single development along State Road 7 corridor. This future land use designation allows for greater intensities and densities that would otherwise be permissible in typical zoning allowances. So I'm not going to read all of this, but I will read some of the highlights that are italicized on this slide. The category shall include residential, commercial, office, and public open space to allow for living, working, and entertainment in a pedestrian-friendly oriented community. Require integration of uses within among buildings, which will be accomplished through the use of vertical integration, such as residential uses over office or retail uses, office uses over retail uses, or other compatible combinations of uses, excluding non-residential uses over residential uses. Use of shared space, creating lived workspace within a single unit in a building. Each project shall be between 15 and 40 acres and have a density of a minimum of 14 dwelling units per acre and a maximum 25 dwelling units per acre. They shall also have a minimum floor area ratio and a minimum floor area ratio of 0.2 and a maximum floor area ratio of 0.75. Open space shall provide no less than 20% of the total site of the project and may provide alternative transit opportunities within the site or have convenient access to mass transit. The local planning agency considered the application on July 22nd, 2025 and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. Staff is recommending approval of this amendment, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Appreciate that. I'm going to open it up to public comment. Do we have any cards?
No, Mayor.
Do we have any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Would anyone in the audience care to comment or ask any questions about this agenda item? Okay. Okay, please do.
Mayor, this is ordinance 1057, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, adopting amendment to the comprehensive development plan in accordance with the mandate set forth in section 184 Florida statutes pursuant to village-initiated application 25024, which provides for amendments to the text at future land use element in order to create an entirely new future land use designation, mixed-use social center less than 40 acres, providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify effective date, and for other purposes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Attorney. We appreciate that. And so now I'll turn to the council for questions or comments. Yes, Vice Mayor.
One question for Bradford. Open space means open space, correct? That's unimproved, because my thoughts are, okay, if we need a big retention pond, that's still open space, correct? Because it's open.
So this is, those types of details will be within the zoning text.
Okay, so that's not at this point because it's the...
Right.
Okay.
And you know, and at that point in time, yes, we will contemplate and we won't allow, it has to be usable open space.
Okay,
and
so
usable
that's
open space isn't, you know.
Not just it's, hey, it's open, you can't run your kids through the retention pond.
Right.
So, okay, thank you, Bradford, I appreciate it.
Okay, any other comments or questions? I do have one. It's more of a statement. So you've been hearing me talk about the countywide transportation master plan. One of the things that makes it unique and one of the things that will make it work is it combines land use with transportation options. And unless they are combined, it will be far less than completely successful and may fail totally anyway. This particular step moves us closer to having a land use which actually will be compatible with, will be supportive of the transportation options that this countywide transportation master plan is looking at. Is that correct?
Yes.
And
it will have those components, and it does in the land use text now, where they may have transit hubs or have easy access to the hubs that are located not within the development, but maybe on the out perimeter of the development.
Which means that would be a consideration following this particular framework then that we're...
The framework is in there.
And so this is also a next step in the direction of actually implementing the Treasure Coast Regional Planning Council developed State Road 7 commercial corridor redevelopment activities that we involved ourselves in several years ago, right?
This text amendment is a reflection of the recommendations that were in that study, correct?
Fantastic. Well, I'm excited about it. I think it moves us in a really good direction. So unless there are any other comments or questions, I will look for a motion to approve agenda item number 6.
I make a motion to approve a regular agenda item number 6.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien. Regular agenda item number 7, public hearing for first reading and approval of ordinance number 1059, amending Chapter 26, zoning at Section 26-57 to clarify language regarding the current requirement governing the architecture of accessory structures and dwelling units. Again, Mr. O'Brien, you have the floor.
Requirements for accessory structures. For structures 150 square feet or larger, they would be required to fully match the architectural style of the primary structure, not just color, but also facade materials, treatments, roof type, pitch, and style. In addition, any accessory structure taller than the primary structure must be attached as an addition to meet these same matching requirements. This strengthens the current code, which only requires color and roof consistency. The local planning agency approved this application on August 26, 2025, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0. And staff is recommending approval of this ordinance. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I will open that up to public comments. Do we have any cards?
No, Mayor.
Any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Anyone in the audience care to comment on this agenda item? Not seeing any, I'll close the floor to public comment, and I'll turn to the council. I'm sorry, you got to read it. That's what it says, right? Okay, please.
57, accessory uses, buildings and structures, model homes, vehicle auction sales, and electric vehicle charging stations to clarify language regarding current requirement that architecture of permanent accessory structures match the architectural style of the principal/primary structure, providing that each and every other section and subsection of Chapter 26 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted. Conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify effective date and for other purposes.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Appreciate that. And so now I'll turn to the council for any other comments. None?
I have a question.
Yes.
With the adoption of this, what happens to any structures we find that don't meet this? Are they grandfathered in? Do we go back and?
Your grandfather.
Yes, they would be what we term a legal non-conforming use if they have a building permit. So if they don't have a building permit, then it complicates matters. But if they have a valid building permit, it's a legal non-conforming structure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Not seeing any, I will entertain a motion to approve regular agenda item number 8.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number, I thought it was 7.
Sorry.
Yeah, 7.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, now for regular agenda item number 8, public hearing for the first reading. Notice I said reading, so I caught myself this time. First reading and adoption of ordinance number 1061, amending Chapter 15, landscaping and vegetation management at section 15-79, tree replacement, to specify the timing of replacement tree installation or required bonding or payment into the village's tree bank. Again, Mr. O'Brien, you have the floor.
Great. Thank you again. Yes, this is just to clarify the timing of the contribution to the village's tree bank. Prior to the issuance of the first planning and zoning department permit, engineering department permit, or building department permit to include vegetation removal permits, or whichever comes sooner. The Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this application, and staff is recommending approval of this text amendment. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Attorney, would you care to?
It would be my pleasure. Mayor. This is ordinance 1061, ordinance of the Village Council, Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 15, Landscaping and Vegetation Management, Section 15-79, Tree Replacement, in order to specify the timing of replacement tree installation or required bonding or payment into the village's tree bank, providing that each and every other section and subsection of Chapter 15 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify effective date and for other purposes.
Okay, thank you. You do that very well. We'll open it up to public comment. Are there any comment cards? Any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Anyone in the audience care to comment on regular agenda item number 8? Not seeing any, I'll close the floor to public comment. And I turn to the council for any questions or comments. And not seeing any, I will look for a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, offer motion to approve. 8. Thank you. Number 8.
I have a motion and a second. Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There are no opposed, so it passes unanimously. I told you it was going to be a long evening. For some of us, longer than for others, just to make an observation there. Okay. To regular agenda item number 9, public hearing for first reading and approval of ordinance number 1062, amending Chapter 23, Traffic and Vehicles at Section 23-49, required minimum number of parking spaces to revise the parking requirements applicable to manufacturing limited processing uses. Mr. O'Brien.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Currently, the code requires 1 parking space per 500 square feet of floor area plus 1 space per employee on the maximum work shift. Following recent variance requests for a site at 100 Aldi Way in the direction of Village Council through the strategic planning process, staff has reevaluated this standard and bringing forward this proposed revision. Village staff surveyed surrounding municipalities and evaluated the parking demands for the manufacturing limited processing use, and staff has concluded that the proposed parking ratio will meet the parking needs for future manufacturing limited processing uses within the village. The local planning agency considered the application on August 26, 2025, and recommended approval by a vote of 5-0, and staff is recommending approval of this text amendment.
Okay.
And sorry, and I'll turn the floor back over to you, Mayor. Thank you.
You know I was waiting for that, right?
That's your favorite part of my presentation. I'm done. It's finished, finally.
I don't hear that. Okay. So I will now open the floor to public comment. Do we have any cards? Do we have any hands raised?
No, Mayor.
Anyone in the audience care to make a comment or ask any questions on regular agenda item number 9? If not, I will turn to the attorney to read.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance 1062, ordinance of the Village Council of the Village of Royal Palm Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 23, Traffic and Vehicles, Section 23-51, required minimum number of parking spaces, to revise the parking requirement for industrial and manufacturing uses, specifically manufacturing and limited processing uses, providing that each and every other section and subsection of Chapter 23 shall remain in full force and effect as previously adopted, providing a conflicts clause, severability clause, authority to codify an effective date, and for other purposes.
Okay, thank you. Now I'll turn to the council for any questions or comments. Then I'll look for a motion and a second.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number 9.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And for this evening, the last item is regular agenda item 10, approval and authorization for the village manager to execute third amendment to agreement for purchase and sale agreement to provide a
Come on, Johnny.
So close.
We almost made it. So where was I? Let me start over again with regular agenda item 10. Approval and authorization for the village manager to execute Third Amendment to agreement for purchase and sale agreement to provide 3-month extension to Artemis Investment LLC to obtain the required approvals under the agreement. Mr. Manager.
Oh, you want to do it, Bradford? No.
I am satisfied with the presentation given by the mayor tonight on this item. Did a fantastic, wonderful job.
Line with the school. They do have a representative here. I think this will be the last extension. You know, when we split these properties in half, it really did require a lot of both the property owners that were receiving half of this property. But they're almost there, I understand, and this should be the last extension they need to get finished. But they are here to make any comments if they want to.
Okay. Would the representative care to make any comment?
If you recall, this parking parcel only has a handful of parking spaces, and looking at the list, we needed to get over 7 development approvals. So I think my client might be regretting it at this point. But we're in the 9th inning. There's one more strike, and then we will be at the end. And actually, my team feels like they may not necessarily need the extension, but we didn't want to be put in position where we didn't meet the deadline, and then we couldn't come back to you and ask for an extension. So this is just in an abundance of caution.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Andrea Kaiser, on behalf of the applicant, thank you very much.
And I thank you for not using a football analogy. I do appreciate that. With that said, I'll open it to the floor to public comment. Well, let me see if there are any cards first.
No, Mayor.
Okay, there are no cards. Hands raised.
No, we picked up some more people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic.
But they don't have their hands up.
And so I'll look to the audience if anyone has any questions or comments on regular agenda item number 10. Not seeing any, I will close the floor to public comment. I'll look to the council for any questions or comments. Not seeing any, I then will look for a motion and a second.
Motion to approve regular agenda item number 10.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. By the way, the bases are loaded, so.
It's halftime, probably.
I was going to lean on that. Okay, I do not believe we have any further business this evening to come before the council, so the meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.
I was trying to come up with an Army frigates saying for the last thing, but I couldn't think